So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to start doing the dissection. A couple of things that you need to know before you start your dissection. How we're going to open the bag and how we're going to label the bucket. So make sure that you keep both the external and internal bag, and also make sure that you label your bucket with the first and last name of every member in your group, your instructor's name, and your section number. Now, when it comes to opening the cat, we're not going to do as it seems in the lab manual. We're going to do this a different way because we're going to preserve this cat for the entire semester. So first thing you want to do is take the cat and place it in the bucket. You open the external bag first. It should have a rubber band on it. Open that bag up. You can roll it down. There will be a vacuum sealed internal bag. And you will notice that all of the preservative is in this bag. It's easiest if you cut the very top along the short end of the bag with scissors. And then you'll want to pull the cat out, holding on to it so it doesn't fall back down. The cats can be pretty heavy. And let it drain as you pull it out of the internal bag. Just kind of let everything drip back into the bag because you're going to want to preserve as much of that fluid as possible. And then carefully lay it down onto the dissection tray. You will make a little bit of a mess, but once you get it on the dissection tray, you can situate it so the tail is tucked in underneath and the feet are all within the large tray. Once you get this done, you can move your bucket off to the side. You can wipe up your surroundings so nobody's leaning into any of the preservative, and then you'll start your dissection. One thing is that the cat is so heavy you don't need to necessarily rubber band it in place, but I'll show you how to do that. This is called a half hitch. You want to take the rubber band, wrap it around the arm. You can go as far back as the elbow, or you can go as far up as the first or the paw. You wrap the rubber band around so it catches itself, and then you can pull it all the way out and kind of tie it around on the external surface of the dissection tray. Once you do that, you can do that to whatever limb is in your way, and that will help keep the limbs out of the way and keep your cat positioned for your dissection. Now, we're going to do these dissections section by section of the body of the cat, so make sure that you're doing all of the muscles in one particular section. Jumping around is not going to help you remember the origin or insertions. It's not going to help you remember the order. But if you do them section by section, it'll help you remember and organize your muscles in your mind and in your memory to get you through all of the muscles in the cat that you need to know. So, we go back to the lab handout. We'll see that we start off with muscles of the thorax and the superficial muscles. You already know that that is this area. As you may have noticed, there's a layer of fat. With this cat, the layer is not as prominent as it could be with other cats. Keep in mind, all cats are different. So you'll notice right here, this pale yellow, that's a layer of fat. Just underneath, you'll see this rather pale tissue that's more whitish or cream colored. That's going to be fascia and muscle tissue that's directly under it. So first thing, we're going to have to remove some of this fat, being very careful. to not remove any of the muscle tissue. Keep in mind, I know that your book is going to say remove the skin. The only skin that is left on the cat, on the paws, the head, and the tail. Okay? So you don't need to remove any of that. We won't be using any of the muscles that are located below those areas. So, in order to remove the fat, you'll have to grab some forceps, and you want to get underneath that fat and just kind of, instead of cutting like you normally would, you want to stick the point of your scissors in and spread. That will help not to destroy any of the underlying tissues that we don't want to cut through. You may occasionally snip once you can see what's underneath that fatty layer. And just move very slowly to make sure you're not cutting through any musculature. You'll notice right underneath this fatty layer, you have a layer of muscle. You don't want to cut through that. Okay, once you've removed the majority of your fat, now you will never get it completely clean, so don't waste time trying to get it completely clean. What you're going to want to do is grab your lab handout and your lab manual and start going through the muscles in that specific area.